You love your Hyundai. I know you do. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here right now. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Love isn't enough, not for a machine. Because right now, today, there are things you're doing to your Hyundai that are quietly, steadily, and expensively killing it. And the worst part? Most of them feel completely harmless. Hi, I'm Michael from Hyundai Vision. 15 plus years as a mechanic. I've seen beautiful, well-loved Hyundais reduced to scrap because their owners didn't know what you're about to know. I'm not here to scare you. I'm here to save you. Because the gap between a Hyundai that goes 200,000 miles and one that dies at 90,000 is almost never bad luck. It's habits. Here are 10 mistakes that are destroying your Hyundai right now. Stop them. Let's get into it. You've heard about cold starts, but here's what nobody tells you about hot days. You've been running errands all morning. You stop for 30 minutes to grab lunch. You come back, fire it up, and immediately pull out into traffic doing 40 miles an hour. No big deal, right? Wrong. Dead wrong. After a hot soak, that's what we call a short stop after hard running. Your engine bay temperature actually spikes. The oil sitting in your Hyundai's 2.0-liter GDI or 1.6-liter Theta 2 has been baking. Thin, heat-stressed oil circulating immediately under hard load accelerates wear on your rod bearings and cam followers faster than almost anything else. It's microscopic damage each time, but it compounds. And one day it becomes a knock, and a knock becomes a $5,000 engine. The fix is simple. After a hot soak, give it 20 seconds. Let the oil pressure stabilize before you ask anything of it. That's it. 20 seconds between you and an engine replacement. Your coolant looks low. You're in a hurry. You grab a bottle of water from the gas station and tip it in. Job done. You move on. Except you just started a clock. Tap water contains minerals, calcium, magnesium, chloride. Inside your Hyundai's aluminum engine block, those minerals deposit on the walls of your water jacket and the tiny passages of your heater core. Scale builds up like limescale inside a kettle. Your heater core clogs first. Then your radiator tubes narrow. Then your engine starts running hot. A coolant flush that should have cost you $150 has now been followed by a $900 heater core and a $1,200 radiator job. If you must top off in an emergency, use distilled water, only distilled, and get it properly flushed with the correct Hyundai spec coolant as soon as you can. Your owner's manual will tell you exactly which formulation. Use it. If this is helping, subscribe to Hyundai Vision. More videos like this every week, I know. You're thinking, it's just the cabin air filter, it's for the air I breathe. That's not going to kill my engine. And you're right, it won't kill your engine. It'll kill something far more expensive to replace. Your HVAC blower motor. When that cabin filter is choked with 2 years of dust, pollen, and debris, your blower motor has to work harder to push air through. It runs hotter. The bearings wear faster. I've pulled blower motors out of Hyundai Elantras and Tucsons where the fins were caked so thick, the motor was practically suffocating. A $25 filter ignored for 3 years became a $350 blower motor replacement. Every time. Place it every 15,000 miles or once a year. It takes 10 minutes. It's under your glove box. There's no excuse. You left your lights on. Your kid left the door open overnight. Your battery went flat. You jumped it, drove it, all fine. Happens to everyone once. It's what happens repeatedly that destroys you. Modern Hyundais, your Ioniq, your Sonata, your Kona run sophisticated 12-volt electrical systems that do not forgive deep discharge cycles. Every time that battery drops critically low, your alternator has to work overtime to charge it back up. It runs hot, it runs hard. And alternators are not cheap. A $150 battery that's been deep cycled 5 times takes a $450 alternator with it on its way out. There's more. A weak battery causes voltage fluctuations that confuse your ECU. You get random warning lights, rough idling, inconsistent starts. I once spent 3 hours chasing a misfire that turned out to be nothing more than a battery that had lost 30% of its capacity. The car ran perfectly the moment we put a fresh battery in. Test your battery annually. Replace it at 5 years without question. Don't wait for it to leave you stranded at 6 a.m. on a Monday morning. It's 95 degrees out. You get in your Hyundai, which has been sitting in a parking lot since noon. It's a furnace in there. You crank the AC to max, fan to full blast, and you sit there waiting for relief. I understand the impulse completely, but you're putting your AC compressor under maximum strain the second the engine starts, before the refrigerant oil has had a chance to circulate and lubricate the compressor internals. Cold start plus max load is a brutal combination for a component that costs $800 to $1,500 to replace. The smarter move, Crack the windows for 30 seconds after startup. Let some of that trapped heat escape. Set your AC to moderate cooling for the first minute, then ramp it up. You'll cool down just as fast, and your compressor will thank you for the next 100,000 miles. Here's a question. When did you last check your tire pressure? Not glance at it. Actually check it with a gauge against the number on the sticker inside your driver's door jamb. If you're struggling to remember, that's already a problem. Wrong tire pressure is a silent destroyer. Underinflated tires flex excessively, building heat in the sidewall. Heat is the #1 killer of tire structure. You're looking at premature tread wear on the outer edges, reduced fuel economy, and in worst cases, a blowout at highway speed. Overinflation is just as bad. You're losing contact patch, reducing braking performance, and hammering your suspension components with every road imperfection. I've seen Hyundai Tucsons come in with front struts worn out at 40,000 miles because they've been running 10 pounds per square inch over spec for 2 years. The owner thought the ride was supposed to feel like that. It wasn't. Check your pressure monthly. Takes 2 minutes, costs nothing. Smells in cars have a way of disappearing after 10 minutes of driving. The heat dissipates, the windows come down, and you convince yourself it was probably nothing. Maybe a bit of road debris on the exhaust, maybe nothing at all. Never convince yourself it was nothing. A burning plastic smell is almost always an electrical issue. A chafed wire touching a hot surface, a relay that's starting to fail, wiring insulation beginning to melt. These are not problems that stay small. Electrical faults in cars escalate fast and unpredictably. I had a customer bring in a Santa Fe with an intermittent burning smell he'd been ignoring for 6 weeks. By the time he brought it in, a short circuit in the underdash wiring had been slowly cooking insulation. Another few weeks and we'd have been talking about a vehicle fire rather than a wiring repair. Any smell you can't immediately identify, burning, sweet, sulfurous, musty, deserves an immediate investigation. Your nose is a diagnostic tool. Use it. Ask yourself honestly, have you ever changed your brake fluid? Not topped it off, changed it. If your Hyundai is over 3 years old and the answer is no, you and I need to have a serious conversation right now. Brake fluid is hygroscopic. It absorbs moisture from the air through the reservoir cap, through the hoses constantly. Over time, the water content rises. Water in your brake fluid drops its boiling point dramatically. Push your brakes hard, down a long hill, in heavy traffic, in an emergency, and that moisture-laden fluid can boil. Vapor doesn't compress. Your pedal goes spongy. In a real emergency, it can go straight to the floor. Beyond the safety issue, degraded fluid corrodes your ABS module, your calipers, and your brake lines from the inside out. I've replaced brake lines on Hyundais not even 8 years old because the fluid was never changed and the internal corrosion ate through the metal. A $60 fluid flush every 2 years protects components that cost thousands to replace. And more importantly, it protects your life. Sunday afternoon. The car's filthy. The sun is out. You pull the hose out and get to work. Feels productive. Feels responsible. And yet you are actively damaging your paint with every bucket. Hot metal, hot glass, hot clear coat, and then you hit it with water and soap. The water evaporates almost instantly in the heat, leaving soap residue and minerals behind before you can rinse them off. Those residues etch into your clear coat under UV light, permanently. It's not dirt. It's chemical damage baked into the surface. The water droplets themselves act as tiny lenses, focusing sunlight onto the paint beneath them. Wash your car in shade, or early morning, or late evening. Work one panel at a time. Rinse immediately. It's the difference between paint that looks showroom fresh at 10 years and paint that looks oxidized and chalky at 4. Your Hyundai reminded you about a service 3 months ago. You acknowledged it, thought about it, and kept driving. It's still running fine. What's the worst that could happen? Let me tell you exactly what. Those service intervals in your manual, the ones at 30,000, 60,000, and 90,000 miles, were written by the engineers who built your engine, not to generate revenue, not to keep dealers busy. They were calculated based on exactly how long components statistically survive before they need attention. Your spark plugs degrade on a curve. Your timing chain tensioner wears to a tolerance. Your drive belt weakens to a threshold. Miss the 60,000-mile service, and you're gambling on which of those components hits its limit first. I've seen a $180 spark plug replacement ignored become a $1,400 catalytic converter replacement when the misfiring from worn plugs cooked the cat. I've seen a timing chain tensioner, a $200 part at service, that left until it rattled itself loose and bent 4 valves on a 2.4-liter engine. The bill was $3,800. The schedule exists because the engineers know. Deviate from it, and you deviate from the plan they designed your car's longevity around. So now we've covered the 10 mistakes. None of them dramatic on their own. All of them devastating when left to run. The Hyundais I've watched fail weren't unlucky. They were neglected in slow motion by owners who meant well and just didn't know. You know now, you've got no excuse left. Your Hyundai is a machine designed to last, but only if you give it what it needs. So close this video, open your glove box, and pull out the owner's manual. Find out where you are in the schedule. Look at your tires. Check your fluids. Start the relationship your car has been asking for since the day you drove it off the lot, because the best repair bill you'll ever get is the one you never had to pay. And subscribe to Hyundai Vision. Drop a comment telling me which mistake you have been guilty of.